step.
Welcome back. Hope you're having a good morning. Well, we're likely to see a green start to trade. Last 3 days, we've been ending in the red. So let's hope that today we see some bit of green, at least for starters, will be in the green. But plenty of stocks that we're tracking, and our research team is standing by with CNBC-TV18's top stocks for the day. Sonia, you go first. Tata Motors, JLR is going to be putting more money in that EV vertical. Give us more details.
Oh, absolutely. So Tata Motors is clearly doubling down on its electric vehicle foray. They came out with a release last evening to the exchanges that they will be pumping in £15 billion through the JLR vertical over the next 5 years as their entire EV strategy accelerates. Now, what they're looking to do is to launch 3 electric vehicles, from the JLR camp over the next 2 years. This will include an electric Range Rover later in this year. There's a mid-sized all-electric SUV that's planned in 2025 as well. And not just that, I think what the street would like is a reiteration of a couple of its financial targets as well. Now, they have guided for a double-digit EBIT margin by FY26. This is largely in line with their earlier guidance, and they plan to achieve this through aggressive cost-cutting as well as an improving product mix. The only change in guidance is on their net cash positive balance. Earlier, they had said that they'll achieve it by FY24. Now, they've pushed it 1 year out because, of obvious reasons, they have a £15 billion investment program. A lot of brokerages are positive on the stock. Macquarie remains constructive, while Morgan Stanley maintains overweight. They have a target price of 513. But let's move on. Tata Communications is also in focus this morning. Rima has more on that. Rima.
Thanks so much for that. So for Tata Communications, there is a margin miss. Margins have declined by 120 basis points versus expectations of an 80 basis points decline. And the key reason for the margin miss is the company has ramped up its employee headcount, employee base in anticipation of a pickup in growth. So EBITDA margins this time at 22.6%, lower by 120 basis points and below the company's guidance of 23 to 25%. The data business has been fairly healthy in terms of top line. The other key numbers, revenue growth of 0.9% quarter on quarter, but because of the margin miss and the decline, profits are down nearly 17%. The company has also gone on to say that as of now, they've not seen any significant weakness in the deal funnel, that's the deal pipeline, despite the macro headwinds. Another important alert is the company has said that they have their subsidiary has an outstanding receivable of more than 170 crore towards a troubled telecom player. They are in discussions with that telecom player. They believe this receivable is good and recoverable in due time. But just want to update that there is an outstanding receivable and that stressed telecom company should be read as Vodafone Idea. Back to you.
All right, Rima, thanks very much for that. By the way, you'll hear from the Tata Communications management a little later on the program here, and we'll kind of get you snippets of that. Our network will be speaking with, we'll have the Tata Communications management. But Rima, back to you on Mastek.
Well, actually a pretty good set of numbers from Mastek. So after the big miss that we had from Infi and TCS, Mastek's numbers are looking good. A dollar revenue growth of 7.7%. Margins have expanded by 50 basis points. Profits are up 13%. And these are all on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Their constant currency revenue growth has been more than 5%. And it's driven by the UK government business. So Mastek has reported a good numbers. Even the other metrics, like the order book has picked up on a sequential basis. Attrition has come down, like we've seen in the case of the other IT companies. So on the whole, Mastek's numbers are actually looking pretty good, and there's very little to complain about. So these numbers would be liked by the street. Considering the overall mood towards IT has been bad, Mastek stands out.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Thanks a lot, Rima. Surbhi is joining in. She has ICICI Securities on her radar. Surbhi, how did it look this time?
Thanks so much for that. So ICICI Securities posted a weak set of numbers, and that was kind of on expected lines as they're losing market share in their active client base for the last 10 months, and also the trading volumes were lower on a year-on-year basis. So on a sequential basis, the revenue was kind of flat at 885 crores. Their PBT and PAT both were down 7%, mainly due to higher operating expenses and high finance costs. When you look at their segmental data, the broking revenue, that was marginally higher by about 4%. This was due to increase in retail derivative volumes. The profitability was, however, down 3%. The issuer services segment, that has dragged down the revenues also. There, the revenues were down 74%, mainly due to decline in primary market activity, and also EBIT was down 90% on a sequential basis. In the near term, given the market volatility, we'll have to watch out for their market share and also how they optimize their cost structure.
Thanks a lot for that, Surbhi. Well, let's hop across to Abhishek. He's joining in to tell us about two stocks. One is Equitas, Small Finance Bank, as well as Bank of Maharashtra, looking to raise some money. Morning, Abhishek.
Morning, Nigel. So, RBI seems to be happy with small finance banks, given the fact that, yesterday they gave two of them authorized dealership category 1 license or AD1 license. So, we had the announcement of AU Small Finance Bank coming in during market hours, and post-market, we had it for Equitas Small Finance Bank. So, this license allows bank to deal in foreign exchange. So, it will allow, bank to serve the needs of importers and exporters. A license will allow bank to provide inward and outward remittance to its customers. The move will put bank almost on par with universal banks, and the step is closer to getting a universal license. I spoke to a few analysts. They say that this move can help in terms of ROA improvement anywhere between 10 to 15 basis points. Unlike AU Small Finance Bank, where the pre-tax ROA, as per analyst estimate, would improve by 35 to 50 basis points. So Bank of Maharashtra, they are considering a board approval for a fundraise for FY24 of about 7,500 crores. So the board meet is on 24th April. If at all they raise about 7,500 crore entirely through the year, based on current numbers, the tier 1 ratio could increase to 20.6% when compared to 13.5% that they had as of Q3, and the leverage and ROE will come down. Leverage is about 18.8 times and ROE is about 24.4%. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Let's also go across to Sonal now. She's tracking some more stocks that are in the news. Sonal, what do you have for us today?
Good morning, Sonia. I have 4 stocks on my radar. Let me start with NBCC because the company has been able to secure a work order worth 208 crore rupees. This is from PWD Puducherry. Ultratech Cement, they have commissioned 2.2 million metric tons per annum of brownfield expansion in Patliputra, Bihar. And this increases the capacity to 4.7. And now company's total grey cement manufacturing capacity in India stands at 129.15. HOEC, 2 developments here. The first one is on their B80 field where they will be producing both oil and gas, and it has been under repairs and maintenance for the longest time and has been the big trigger for the company as well. Here the company says that repair and commissioning at their B80 field has been completed. They're currently testing gas production up to 15 million cubic feet per day, and they've also issued a second tender which is for supply of gas at 16% of crude price for previous months. So there are some positive developments here. But on the other hand, in one of their legal cases with respect to the PY3 field, there they have hit a roadblock because the Court of Appeal of Malaysia has dismissed their appeal here. So that could be a negative. Lastly, Ami Organics, they have a board meet on 22nd April to consider issue of equity shares. This is by way of preferential issue. So watching out for all these stocks.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. So here's a quick recap of our top stocks with positive news flow. There's Tata Motors, Mastek, Equitas Small Finance Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, NBCC, Ultratech Cement and Ami Organics. While stocks with negative news flow, there's Tata Communications, ICICI Securities and Hindustan Oil Exploration. Let's slip into a quick break. We have so many stocks to ask our next guest. Dipan Mehta of Elixir Equities will be joining in for some fundamental stock analysis. We'll also have Jonathan Barrett of Probus Securities to talk about the rise in metal prices. Do stay tuned in.